The storm rolled over the valley like a living thing, swallowing sound, light, and hope all at once. For 3 endless days, it hadn't stopped raining. The mountain pass was a graveyard of twisted trucks and empty shell casings. Inside the forward outpost, the mud was ankle-deep, and the air smelled like cordite and fear. Lieutenant Kara Hale sat beside the radio table, staring at the blinking light that refused to answer. Static hissed in her headset, broken only by thunder and the distant echo of gunfire. Command was gone. Reinforcements, days away, if they came at all. Around her, a dozen men moved like ghosts, the kind of soldiers who'd seen too much, slept too little, and trusted no one new. Especially not her. They called her the Captain's Project, the quiet one who looked better behind a desk than behind a rifle, the one they said didn't belong on the front line. Now the captain was gone. Evac'd after an ambush left half the team wounded, and Kara was the highest-ranking officer left. But rank meant nothing out here. Out here, survival was the only authority that mattered. She tried again on the radio. "Alpha to command, do you copy?" Only static. Sergeant Rhodes, thick beard, scar across his cheek, leaned against the doorframe. "Ma'am, with all due respect, you should be in the bunker. This storm's turning the valley into soup. Not the best time to play hero." She didn't look up. "Heroes get people killed, Sergeant. I'm just trying to get us home." He snorted. "That headset won't get us home. A working gun will." Before she could reply, the perimeter alarm blared. One long, shrill wail echoing through the rain. The guard tower light flickered, then went black. Movement at the tree line. Dozens of shapes, silent, purposeful. Then, muzzle flashes. The first shot cracked through the night. "Contact front!" Rhodes shouted. Chaos erupted. The Marines scrambled for cover, their boots slipping in the mud. Bullets tore through the sandbags, the air filled with the sharp hiss of gunfire and the heavy thud of mortars striking near the gate. Kara dropped to the ground, scanning the dark through her scope. Shadows moved like phantoms, too coordinated to be random raiders. They were being pushed, herded, into a trap. She keyed her mic. "Fall back to the trench line. We're being flanked," Rhodes yelled over the noise. "They've got us boxed in. We need to retreat south." She shook her head. "South is the marsh. That's where they want us," he cursed. "You're guessing." "No," she said, eyes narrowing. "I'm listening." Through the chaos, she could hear it. The cadence of enemy fire, the controlled bursts, the rhythm of professionals closing a kill box. Her instincts screamed what the map already told her. If they moved downhill, they'd never come back up. She looked to the flare canisters beside the comms crate, then to the open field, the perfect lure. "Sergeant," she said quietly, "get your men ready to move. When you see the flare, you push west. Don't look back." "What flare?" he snapped, but she was already moving. Kara burst from cover, the storm swallowing her whole. Rain stung her eyes, bullets hissed through the fog. She dove behind a half-collapsed wall, struck a flare, and raised it high. Crimson light sliced through the darkness like blood across steel. The enemy saw it instantly. Dozens of rifles turned toward the red glow. A wall of fire erupted around her, tearing the night apart. Inside the trench, Rhodes froze. "She's drawing them off." "Move!" she screamed through the comm, voice raw. "Now!" The Marines surged from the trenches, firing toward the flare, using the chaos as cover. They scrambled across the ridge, dragging their wounded through the mud. Every man knew what she was doing, and none of them could stop her. Kara ducked behind a burned-out jeep, the metal sparking under constant fire. Her hands trembled as she reloaded, the clip slick with rain and blood. Then she heard it, the sharp metallic click of an empty rifle. Her last magazine. She exhaled slowly, eyes fixed on the advancing figures. Her pulse slowed, her breathing steadied. Fear had no room left in her body. She pulled a grenade from her belt, thumbed the pin, and whispered the only prayer she ever believed in. "Make it count." The explosion ripped through the valley, echoing for miles. The ground shook. The rain turned to steam. When the dust cleared, the gunfire had stopped. Rhodes and his men emerged from the trench line, coughing, dragging the wounded, searching the smoke for any sign of her. And then they saw her, standing in the open field, rifle gone, flare still burning at her feet, her sleeve torn and blood seeping down her arm. She was barely standing, but she didn't fall. Her eyes scanned the ridge, her men, alive. That was all that mattered. Rhodes reached her first, his voice cracking. "You're insane, Lieutenant." "You had no cover." She smiled faintly. "Did it work?" He looked back at the valley, at the bodies scattered through the mud, at the men behind him catching their breath. "Yeah," he said softly. "It worked." By dawn, medevac choppers swept in under a clear sky. The storm had broken, but the valley still smoked. Reporters would later call it the Hale Stand. Some said she got lucky, others called it reckless. But the Marines who'd been there, the ones who lived because she refused to hide, they knew better. Weeks later, during the debrief, General Steele asked Rhodes one question. "Who gave the order to hold the line?" Rhodes didn't hesitate. "Lieutenant Kara Hale, sir." The general frowned. "I thought command ruled her unfit for combat." Rhodes smiled faintly. "Yeah, so did we." And somewhere between the thunder and the silence that followed, a new name began to circulate through the Corps. Spectre of the Storm. The woman who turned rain into cover and fear into fire.